Hello, lovelies. So, on the Jesuits and Freemasons. Well, I come from a Freemason family, and I was roofie possessed by a Jesuit. And not only that, the Catholic Church school that I went to, Notre Dame in Clarendon Hills, Illinois, I have two roofie recalls from that, and one was me being surrounded by a few classmates from like all the grades, it seemed. And one of my classmates was Larry, and then the second roofie recall, I was just kind of, the first time I was like in the church area, in front of all the pews, in front of the altar, in front of the front part of it. I could see a bunch of people around me. And then the other one, probably because I woke up the first time, right? You know, was the front entrance part has like a little second floor to it where they have the choir sing and everything, or at least back in the day, maybe they still do. And that was my second roofie recall. So, and then they had not only roofie possessed me, but they are like doing like evil things to me. They're showing me their child porn collection. When I'm a child, they are showing getting their child to jerk their dog off in front of me. They have a gumball machine, like a free one. It was that my friend is never taking any gumballs out of. I'm getting constant headaches every time I go over to the Andrews house. Every single time they would get upset when I would get a glass of water, as if they were like poisoning my water for me. And they're like, prepare it for me. And they're like, come down, get your water now. It's like, okay. I'm sure they would have been, if I was savvy enough, as a child, to just dump the water out and get some more. That probably would have been really upsetting for them. What else? Oh, yeah, they pushed alcohol on me, especially this kid in high school when we're a bit older. He was like, I broke into my high school when I was a kid, and he was involved, getting me, hooked on cigarettes, which I don't think is necessarily bad, but it's all the poisons around the cigarette that is bad. What else? God, it's just, there's a long list, and I'm trying to make this a short video. But there was a whole fucking thing that this family did, and they were the Jesuits, and I was the Freemason. So there's all this finger pointing and everything, but of course, the guilty would just point the finger to just muddy the waters. But it seems like the Jesuits are really fucking guilty of playing and using the Freemasons. I see some Freemasons like Candace Owens, um, you know, supposedly Tucker Carlson and Ian Carroll, and they all seem like decent dudes and females I'd get along with. Although I wouldn't, do what they might be tricked into is, well, we gotta, hunt for predators, so you gotta dress your child like a slut and feel themselves up around other adults, okay? And this way, you'll trigger the possession that we do on a mass scale at the Catholic Church. Like, why are we doing this, this Epstein file, and no one's talking about the Catholic Church? Because they are highly involved. One of the secret things that they do, it's a standard practice, is they roofie possess people on a mass scale. Because they like to make monsters so they could fucking cosplay hero. And they're like, look, see, we're solving problems. See, we're solving problems because, look, Billy Bob over there, we roofied him like 50 years ago. And now look at him. He's just like strangely attracted to, whatever, that we deem inappropriate. And me saying, almost adults with some young adults, it's like, dude, you're almost adults, fool adults all the time that they're adults. All the time. All the fucking time. You do this with the alcohol purchases and the tobacco purchases. You do all the fucking time. So don't say me that it's like some creep thing. I was given brain damage, intentionally, with heavy metals, my water and shit. God knows what the fuck was in it. It wasn't enough to kill me, but enough to like brain damage me, right? And so I have a thing called facial blindness where I have a hard time telling. So some of you get fooled into attacking people that have been attacked for life, and you call that progress or some shit. I'm just saying. So, yeah. So it seems like the Jesuits are very guilty, and, I will say the Freemasons are, pretty nice. Do they have bad members in there? Of course, like every other group, in order to smear them, of course, there'll be all sorts of, evil assholes from a different group saying they're, oh, we're Freemasons. So yeah. And that's what they did to me. The gumballs in the machine, in the room, and everything. I mentioned the gumball thing earlier. I noticed them when I was digging through my memories that some of them did look like they had like needle, like someone penetrated these gumballs with some sort of object. And my friend, never ever once did I see James Andrews take a single gumball when we were playing as children. Not a single gumball. You know, um, so yeah, I would say that the Jesuits are most guilty of playing sides and blaming others when they're the guilty ones themselves. All right, have a lovely day.